G'day. I hope you guys are all having a good one. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make grass cards in IlluGen. This is going to be a relatively, this is going to be sort of like a mixed video in terms of complexity. I'm going to be covering some topics that are going to be a little bit more complex and some topics that are going to be a little bit, pretty simple to grasp. A good reason as to why I want this to be one of my first videos is because it's mixing between both the 2D side of IlluGen as well as the 3D side of IlluGen, which does add a little bit of complexity. However, it should give you guys a pretty, at least bare bones understanding of how both of the two sides of the program can be utilized together, especially for games, as well as, I guess just an opening into the two sections themselves. So yeah, this is going to be the goal. I hope you guys like it. I want to be making some tutorials for the next couple weeks, hopefully covering a couple different topics. So we'll see how things go. Awesome. Let's get into it. So first and foremost, we're going to start a new project. We're going to get this. First, what you're going to be wanting to do is doing the grass blade itself, ultimately. So for this, we're going to be utilizing a shape, a 2D shape. And this can work perfectly fine. I would recommend something like this because you get a little bit of a bevel at the top, which is nice. You could approach this pretty similarly with some of these other ones, but I quite like this. So what we can do with this from here is go and adjust the relative width till we get a shape that we're liking. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this shape. Just going to drag it down. Then from here, we're going to add a blend. And let me go drag this into the foreground. I'm going to make this smaller. And we can probably adjust this to be something like subtract or something. Make it a little bit smaller. So what you can see here is we've gone and given it a little bit of like a dimple in the middle, similar to what grass kind of has. It should be helpful for, breaking up the shape a little bit. So to view this, you can click the, if we go into like 2D and stuff, you can go click the output. And we can see sort of what we're working with here. So there's adjustments that we could make. We can make it smaller, thinner. We can adjust the cross mix, which is how much it's going, and subtracting. But that's up to you guys, really. What you guys think looks good. Now, next thing we want to be doing is adding a little bit of like waviness to it. A bit of breakup. So if I were to do this in Substance Designer, I'd use something like a directional warp. However, there aren't any directional warps in the program. There's a directional blur, but no directional warp. So to make up for this, I'm going to sort of approach the warp in a slightly different way. And I'm going to do it before we even add the shapes. So we can approach this pretty simply just by going under UV. And if we go into UV noise, drag this into the UV, and by doing this for both, we're going to be adding it to both of the little bits. And from here we can like adjust the scale. We can adjust like anything really, anisotropy, rotation, because you can get some really cool like variants here, and like the distortion itself. You want quite a big change to your grass or quite a small one. A lot of that's really up to you, so you guys can go and see what you guys think you like with yours. I'm pretty happy with this. I'm not too bothered at the end of the day with exactly making sure it's anything too crazy. Next from here, what we're gonna go and do is add a fractal. So once again, if I were to approach this in something like Substance Designer, you'd use something like a tile sampler. So for those of you guys coming from Substance Designer, think of the fractal being a similar type of alternative there. So from here, we can go and add this into the input pattern. If any devs are watching, something that would be kind of nice is to be able to have multiple inputs into the fractal, into the input pattern thing. I am not aware of there being a way to add more than one, so something like that would be really cool to see. I'd imagine you can't. Let me go and see if I can drag another one. No. Sometimes you can drag it and add a new one. So anyway, this will get us our base fractal pattern here. And from here, what we're going to be wanting to do is going, and we can go and muck around with some of these. So we've got like a brick version, got like default, and we're just going to go and look to see what we want. So if you're wanting to do something like just like a flat ground texture, something like this entangled could be quite good. Let's see what we think looks good. I'm thinking, well, this could also be quite good as well. Almost like a hay. Some of these are quite nice. I think we're probably wanting to use the default one as well. So something that I'm going to quickly do, a little setup, is going under the, what I might quickly do is we're going to go and see if we can mask this section here. So if I go and add a shape here, I'm going to do a little bit of a shape. We're going to do reduce the width. So we're trying to just mask out this section here. Also for this, we're going to, honestly, another approach, let me see how this works actually. If I had a gradient, we might be able to get a pretty good result with a gradient. So let's actually just try this quickly first, sorry. Let's see. I could get a, let's see what gradients. If we have like a central gradient, I just want to double check that because this might provide a better result for us. Seems to be no double-sided gradients. Let's see. I think if we went and drove that up, did that, and we rotated this, will that work? This could be an approach. Yeah, that one's not too bad. Maybe we could blend this. So if we go, this be the foreground, this be the background. Okay. What do we have? If we go, we got alpha, multiply. Multiply is not too bad. What else? Dodge, burn, screen, overlay. Let's see, what do we like? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crop the bottom part here actually a bit more. Let's see which one that is. Bring that up, I think. Gonna provide us a bit better result. Something like that I think might be pretty good. Awesome. So what that's done is it's cropped so the bottom of the effectively this mask here is completely gone. So you're not going to be getting any grass spawning below there, and the grass is just going to be just within here, the section here. So we're not going to get any grass on the edges, and this is just going to mask it. So at the end of the day, we're not going to be running into any issues of the Atlas just not really working too well. Next, what I'm going to quickly do is add a levels, or let me see. I mean, I could probably approach it with like a curve or something. Let me see. No, levels I think would be better. Levels. And with this, we're just going to see if we can boost the boost it all so we can just see it a bit better while we're working with it. So this is what we kind of got at the moment. It's not amazing. So we're just going to quickly adjust some of these. Look at what some of these do. So we can go and adjust the layer count, which is like the how many blades of grass we're actually working with. I'm going to be wanting to make sure that we're not spawning really anything up there either. Maybe reducing the height of this. Scale's not really giving me that approach that I'm too after. We can also adjust the rotation here as well. Scale range, and kind of slightly adjust that. There's some of these horizontal verticals if you want slight shifts in the scales of the horizontal and the vertical plane. So you can also adjust the position. The horizontal and the vertical, I don't really want any vertical stuff there. You can adjust the intensity as well. The overall visibility is also a very big one. Love some of these. I'm gonna keep playing around a little bit until we can see if we can remove some of those spawning up there. Let's see what we can do. Sweet. So from here, I might actually go and scroll down and adjust instead of background. Let's actually switch this to being the intensity range here, I believe. We can swap that actually, and that might provide a slightly better result here. Which you can already see getting a little bit better. And from here, we can adjust some values. So we can adjust, for example, the scale. I think bringing the scale down a little bit is going to start bringing things into a bit more of an approachable range really there. We could look into some of these here, but this is mostly just the visibility at the end of the day of the grass themselves. We can adjust the layer count, so how many bits of grass we have. You can also adjust the scale per iteration, just getting them up a little bit more. I'm not overly too happy with that being so high, so I might quickly reduce the scale here. Let's also maybe bring it down a little bit, just so we're not trying to stop it from going too high up. But something like that's not looking too bad. We're starting to get a little bit of a grassy kind of look here. Increasing the rotation range, I think. But like maybe that. Spending a bit more time, you can get some really cool looking stuff here, but we after maybe increasing the position a bit more. Let's see. Once again, we're sort of running into that issue with the top part there, so we could run this into the background as well. Then you're cropping off some of the bits of grass, unfortunately. So let's see what we can do. Maybe the vertical. We bring down. Just gotta be quite cautious because I don't want to go too crazy with it. Another thing that we can also do, to be honest as well, is just playing with the seed here till we get a result that we're after. Oh, that's not too bad. Just gotta make sure that we're not getting that top section, getting them cropped off the top. That one's not looking too bad. Maybe we work with this one. What I'm also going to do now as well is let's go and duplicate that. I'm just going to import the same things, and this is just going to give us a bit of variation between two of these here. So let me go and drag that in. From here, we can just also do another. What I might actually do instead is if I go levels after, blend here, go maybe background, foreground, pass that through there just so we're able to get this. We adjust like the seed here. So now we're getting a bit of a cool little look here at our grass. And so for this section, I want to make some minor adjustments. I want these to be sort of like smaller background bits, so I can probably drag down these here. And this is just going to break up sort of like the inside sections, parts that might be a bit missing. We can adjust some of these here. Maybe some more rotation from these. Fill in. Adjust some of these, maybe the horizontal, because we're not really getting too much. I'm still very, very, very cautious about that, being completely honest. But maybe we can adjust the overall visibility. That could be a good approach for this one as well. Decreasing that, so we're just cutting that part off. Maybe just keeping that up there. Just wanna, let's see what we can do. I always like having like 1 or 2 in the center, being a little bit higher than the rest, but it's very much just a balancing game, really, to get a result that you're after. One thing that we could also do instead, actually, this might be a better way of approaching this, is adding a transform here and setting this to be lower here, and maybe this is going to provide us a better result then. Just making sure that we're not getting that there. Awesome. So this is a bit closer to what we're going to be getting with our result here. I'm pretty happy with this for now. I might go and adjust it. I might reduce the amount that we end up having here, because there's quite a lot. Yeah. So from here, what I'm going to be wanting to do is run a auto crop. Let's go auto crop. This is just going to make it a bit more central. Doesn't seem to actually be wanting to do anything. I must have already got it cropped pretty well by default, but we'll just run that anyway, just in case. Yeah, that we can actually do that a little bit as well. Next, we're going to add a blur. So we'll go directional blur. Just going to break up the grass shape a little bit. UV noise. Just make it a little bit less harsh. Let's play around with that noise a little bit, and then reduce the blur distance. What blur modes we like? Not bad. I'm going to increase the samples distribution. What I was doing is just giving it a little bit of like a little shift there. Then from here, we're going to go and add a transform, another one. Similar to what we did before, but we're just going to crop the bottom off now. So let's completely go and what are we running into? Let's also remove the tiling as well. There we go. So we're not running into stuff at the top. Awesome. That's honestly pretty good. I don't think we really need to do too much more with the grass from there. I can go and adjust it at some later point if I think that it is probably going to be worth it. We'll see. But let's go add, we'll start working on color now. So we'll go add AO. And with this, we're going to go and combine blend here. And with this blend, we, let's see. Let's actually go this here, add these on top of each other. One thing I just noticed is we're getting a little bit of a shift in terms of these. So if I go auto, let's see, levels. Let me go levels and see if I can auto levels this. Seeing a little bit of a weird spot over there. Just adding the levels and that will go fix that. From here, we're going to go and dim it a little bit. We have a bit more to work with. Add another blend here. And from this, we're going to add some noise. Noise. There we go. Bit of a noise pattern. We're going to decrease the scale. We're going to go, what do we want to do for this one? Almost go overlay, possibly, like a multiply. It's just going to add a bit of variance in terms of the color. So it's not just the one flat color, really. From here, you can go and search up some colors that you might like, or you could play around with some of these ones here. But what I'm going to quickly do is I'm just going to go and grab some colors off screen. There we go. I'm going to go and drag the output into the input, and here you can see we've got some color variations and stuff going on here. So feel free to do what you want to do for whatever color scheme you want with your grass, but we're going to work with that. From here, we're going to go and add a color adjust, and we're going to blend these two together. That being foreground, that being background. You'll see where this will come in. We can add some maybe like red there. Already getting a bit of a cool blend in, but if we add a noise here as well, we can dictate where this is being applied. We go like multiply. No, not really. Maybe like an add is probably fine. Like go and adjust that a little bit. Let's see. That's probably not too bad. I'm not too bothered until we can actually like visualize exactly what we're working with here. I could do this a couple more times, but this is probably fine here. Next, I'm going to go and add a color ramp. Another one. Let's go and let me see. I might actually go from a gradient for this one. Gradient. We're gonna go, let me see, maybe vertical. I want to flip this. Oops. Wrong way. There we go. And from here, I'm gonna go and grab. Actually, this is probably fine as is, but I want to use a color. Oop, wrong one. A color adjust. Color adjust. Where's the adjust gone? American spelling. That'll be why. And from here, I'm going to go. Let me see. Let's add 1 second, please. From here, I might go this being the foreground. I might use this as a mask. Let's not use a colorant for that, sorry. And we can drag this into the background. And so what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be making the tips of the grass having a bit better, a bit more. Might see if we can do another crop actually. Auto crop. Is that gonna? There we go. There we go. I'm gonna say I'm sure that we can get a bit more scale with it, and of course we can. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be coloring the tips with this. We can maybe we could possibly do the tips being a bit greener or something. Let's can adjust the range here, so you can sort of see as I go here. There's quite the variance. You can sort of see. So as we start going, increasing like maybe the saturation value, the vibrance, these sorts of things, so you can sort of see a bit of a gradient coming along with it. That's looking pretty good. I might shove this straight into the color now. So from here, you can sort of see what we're working with, which is pretty good. Next, what we're going to be wanting to do is add a normal map. So let's go normal create from that. Might just drag this down so we got a little bit more wiggle room. This is going to go and create the normal map. I may come to adjust this later. I'm just giving a rough basis here. For the roughness, I might drag from here and see if we can go, what is it, grayscale filter? No. What node am I looking for? Conversion. I'm trying to go RGB to grayscale, add a levels. Let's bring the levels up. This is going to be for roughness. I'm just trying to get a bit of variation there. The roughness. That's probably fine roughness wise. The opacity mask, what I'm going to do is I think like a threshold. I could either try threshold or a maybe not a threshold, honestly. Let's see. I think I'll just use the levels, honestly. Levels might be a little bit easier. Levels. Just adjusting this. So this is going to be masking out where the grass actually is. Just making sure that you're getting as much as you want out of that. Oops. We got ourselves an opacity mask. So I believe if I go control, I can add like a route node there. So that might be worth running there. So we're not having to redo a bunch of stuff weirdly. So that's the opacity. So you can sort of see what the grass is looking like there. I might adjust this normal map because it is quite a lot. I did 1,000. I was meant to do 200. Well, that's probably not too bad. I might increase the roughness as well. Let's see. So we're not so rough. There we go. So we've got some blades of grass going, and we're going to be moving on to the geometry side of things. So from here, what we're going to be doing is a relatively simple setup, and there's multiple variations to how you can sort of go about doing this. So don't feel like there's one right or wrong way. So from here, we're going to go add a geo shape, and this should give us a plane. Make sure you guys save if you haven't already. I just remembered that I haven't. So let me go and add this. We're going to maybe rotate this one. I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. I think maybe on the X. And go that way. I'm also going to go and drag it up so it pretty much sits on the grid there. Leaving maybe an 8x8 is probably fine, because as you'll see, we're going to go add some a noise here. So this is something that's really cool. We can go and add some displacement to this when it loads. There we go. Got a bit of displacement, just a bit of breakup. We can adjust this all like with increasing the displacement there, among some other things. Changing the scale, for example. All these sorts of little shifts there. Sweet. From here, we're going to be placing the little bits of grass. Now, there's a couple ways that you can do it. You can do it randomly. I might do this to show off a couple different nodes here, so you guys have a bit of a use case. So if I duplicate this, is something cool that we can do. We can duplicate this 3 times over. So we've got one blade of grass here. Next we can go, let's see, we can visualize this one. Let's go maybe like 130. Just for how we're trying to go about this one. Oops, make sure. Hello. Ah. Make sure we have the right thing selected. And from here we're gonna go maybe 30. Now we could go like 45 or something, but I think maybe we want to go 45 actually. Just to be a bit central. It's just, sometimes it looks a little bit better occasionally, 145. With these being, because we're going to do 3 pieces here. But what we can do here is shove these all together into a merge node there. Another cool thing is we can adjust the seed here. Actually, one cool thing that we can do here is set the speed. So this is just shift clicking the seed there, and what we can do is press this little dice button there. It's going to randomize them all there. One thing I'm not too happy with is these central ones being too not exactly completely central, which I'm not too happy about. But something like that. Yeah, I think I want to go the 130 actually. Oh, I did 135 on accident though. Negative 130 I think provides a bit better result for me. Maybe not for that one. There we go. There we go. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Sweet. So from here, I mean, if you really want to, you can go shove this into the geo section, and we've got ourselves a grass card there. You can go and adjust the colors and all these sorts of things there. I am aware that some of these are not completely in the ground, so make sure we are adjusting these. It's because of the noise that we're adding. Awesome. Just adjusting some of the rotations will get you a bit better of a result there. Unfortunately, due to the randomized nature there, some of that can be kind of hit or miss. Awesome. So from here, I mean, we got it all 2 sides, so this is pretty cool. By default, kind of giving you already the approach that you may want. One other cool thing that we can do here is what I'm going to do is add a bit of a clump. So if we can go and add a geo points shape, and we're going to increase the scale by a lot. We're also going to go random. Just this is all completely random. Oops, wrong one. Random there. This is just going to now give them the clumps. And from here, we can do quite a bit of playing around. So what I might do here is, let me see, I can go combine scale. So check this out. Scale. This will give a randomize, so changing from constant to noise. You'll see a little bit of scale randomization happening there. We might also go combine transform. See this, where this can get quite cool. And from here, I think I might go and combine the shapes together just so we have a bit of a visualizer. So a copy 2 points. Set this to be the points. Set this to be the geometry. We'll drag this in. Don't worry too much. We'll see what this looks like. Okay, that's pretty crazy at the moment. But don't worry too much about that now. I seem to have found my issue. So if any of you guys run into this one, this is the issue. By adjusting the scale here, it heavily flattens them out. Not too sure why that's the case. I think adjusting that scale can fix it, however, but a little weird. Changing to random, decreasing the particles. To adjust the scales, maybe you go 30. See where that gets us. 30 and 30. How are we looking? It's looking better. Still not too sure why they've decided to start floating. I might need to be a transform thing. Let's go bring these down. Alright, some adjustments made. Next we can go, so we've got some randomized scale. We're going to add some randomized transform. And for this, what we're going to be doing is scrolling all the way down. So we have the right thing selected. I think, let's see. I'm going to first go, let me see. From here, we're going to go change this to be a local. And from index, we're going to go texture access, I think. And we're going to go fractal from here. And scrolling down under fractal, we can go to the, what do we want to do from here? We can go and enable the 3D noise, I think would be a good way to go. Let's go 3D noise. Let's go the let's see. We're going to click this little drop down here. We're going to go double click this to bring this one out, and we can go and add. I'll run 2 of them, so we'll go an oscillator, then we'll run a cycle. What's this one? We'll just do the oscillator for now. So pressing play, you can sort of see what we're working with there. So we're just going to be wanting to bring this up. So setting that to there. I'm not too sure why it started off at in the negatives there. You can see this being applied. I'm also going to decrease the scale. Since we're not going too crazy. We're going to adjust the attenuation, the frequency by a lot. Which we can see there. And so now, instead, if we go and drag this under the points, what's going wrong? Let's run that. Get rid of that old one. We got this going in, the grayscale. Next, we're going to be, we want to go maybe points on plane. And what are we doing? We want to adjust these. So by default, this isn't going to work, of course, but we need to adjust the rotation here, and this is what axis you want it to be. So you could go like the Z, so we can have it spin a little bit. So it's like adjusting what you want it to be going on. So we can increase these potentially there. So it's all randomized per position. However, you can go UV coordinate. However, that looks kind of not great. Same with the whole constant stuff. So I quite like this one. Although, as you can see here, it's not too crazy because we need to adjust this frequency and attenuation. Maybe decrease the amount that these are being rotated by. Not too bothered about some of that. Let's maybe go something like this. And here we'll be able to, once we go into viewport, you can sort of see how cool this is looking. Sorry for the jump in, I was just editing the video, and turns out I never covered the cycle side of things. So for this, we're just going to do a similar thing. I would start from a new because you get slightly, in playing around, you can get slightly different results. So I think it's generally a bit better to start a new for this sort of thing. But doing the old drop down, double click again for that to expose that parameter. Plugging in the grayscale, you'll see how cycle is going. Reducing the frequency quite a lot, and adjust that. And so this is kind of the result that you'd be getting with cycle instead of the oscillator. Slightly different results, nothing too crazy. This is more uniform and stuff like that, whereas the fractal being changed via the cycle gives us sort of its own little windy result. So yeah, whichever one you guys think is the best, feel free to use. However, I do think it is kind of relevant to cover both of them, as there are slight differences in their results, and you know, one may be better for you compared to the other. Going to increase the amount of clumps we have going. You can also increase the scale at which these are going. You can have like one big clump. It's pretty cool. Honestly, there's quite a lot that you can end up doing with this all, which is really, really cool to see. I mean, you can also play around with stuff like, position along Z, and adjusting that position or distance to point so they get smaller as they go out. There's a lot of really cool stuff that you can end up doing with all this. However, at the end of the day, that's pretty much what I want to be covering. You could do for one last thing is adding like another noise here. Just gonna apply a slight bit of noise to the overall group of them. If you really want to, that's always an option. However, that doesn't necessarily look too good. But yeah, overall, pretty cool. There's quite a lot that we can end up doing with this, honestly, and get some really, really cool shapes and whatnot. I mean, let's try like 300 for that. You can increase like the size of the clump as well. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful as a tutorial. I ended up running into quite a couple issues as I went along, just due to some weird inconsistencies. So, a little unfortunate. Hopefully it was still easy enough to follow. Quite a long tutorial, I was just looking just then, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll see how this all goes. Thank you guys all for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time. See ya!